In the heart of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, lies a place where meaningful progress begins, where science, compassion, and consistency come together to change lives. This is the Operant Learning Center, the flagship location of BDA center-based services, and the first of its kind. Since its founding, it has paved the way for similar programs now serving communities in Texas, California, Pennsylvania, and Maine. With its recent expansion, our Mount Laurel Center continues to set the standard for what effective, compassionate, applied behavior analysis can look like in action. Welcome to the Operant Learning Center, where progress meets purpose.
Okay, so we are still doing Earth Week stuff, even though next week is Earth Day. Does anyone remember what day Earth Day is? Go ahead, Malia. 22nd, Tuesday. Nice. You're paying attention. All right, so I have a quiz for you guys because I feel like you're going to know the answers. You. We're going to do an Earth Day quiz. My name is Alyssa Kincaid. I am the Executive Director of the Social Skills Program, and I am the Associate Director of the Behavior Stabilization Program. A lot of programs that I've seen are kind of like one size fits all, and the student has to fit into that program. Whereas here, we tailor the program to each student's individual needs, which I don't think a lot of schools have the ability to do so because of how many students they're servicing. And I think that's what makes us truly special, and we can really work with that student and help them get what they need to get back to a less restrictive environment. What is today's date?
I think already May.
It's not. It's March a little bit, and it's already May. Jordis, what is today's date? Nice job, Jordis. All right, what year are we in? What year?
So our Behavior Stabilization Program is designed to serve students who have failed either in their district placement or in out-of-district placements. They are engaging in a level of problem behavior that is not able to be supported in those types of environments. Our goal for when they're admitted is to assess their problem behavior to find the function. So we use functional behavior assessment, often functional analysis, and then we develop treatment interventions that can reduce that problem behavior with the goal to generalize them back to a less restrictive setting.
When I was giving a tour a couple days ago, we were talking with a family, and I think part of what we do better than possibly anywhere I've ever been is to build a rapport with the student. And whether you want to call that bonding or letting them develop trust in us, they might tear up the place, right? They might get aggressive or disruptive. They can call us bad names. They can do all sorts of things like that. And our staff are really phenomenal at not personalizing that and really kind of moving on from those episodes and rewarding appropriate behavior when it occurs. And I think for a lot of these kids, they're not used to something like that. They're used to acting out, adults getting upset with them, maybe staying upset with them. And with us, it's kind of like, yeah, that we had a moment and we'll move on, right? We're going to move on to the next thing on our schedule.
Our day-to-day here kind of looks different for every student since we are able to individualize the program. So for some students, they'll come in, they're greeted by their one-to-one staff. Some of them are transported by a district bus. Some of them we provide transport for. Some of their schedules, they might have treatment sessions. Some of them might have some more vocational work. They might be helping to get activities set up for the day. Then we all come together for morning meeting. We always have a theme each week, which kind of keeps the kids really excited. They all break off with their individual one-to-one clinical associate staff, and they do kind of their treatment session. They might do work that's provided by school. Again, what that session looks like is different for every kiddo. We come back together for group fitness, so we do an activity outside, and then we come back together for everybody's favorite time of the day. We do cooking, art, and science. So cooking's a lot of fun. All of the kids get really into this. They're really excited on what are we cooking that day. We like to keep it fun. We like to keep it engaging. We do sneak in some work with that, like they'll have to read the directions to an activity before we can start it. Sometimes there's a worksheet after the activity. So we like to kind of fade in those demands with keeping it fun.
I've been doing this a long time and I've been like, wow, this one's going to be challenging. And so when you see them make progress to the point that they are choosing to interact with other students, they're bringing themselves to the groups, they are able to be in a classroom with other students when at the beginning of the admission they just absolutely weren't, that's really great progress. And then when we hear about them after discharge and they are continuing to do really well, then we know we're doing good.
So we had one student, this is our second student in the program. He was very special to me. I think he and I were buddies. He struggled with having relationships with adults every day. It was kind of up and down with him. I think everybody in school had kind of given up on him. Lots of aggression, property destruction. Once he graduated, we had this beautiful day on his discharge day. We had these butterflies. We'd grown them from caterpillars into butterflies. We released the butterflies, and it was great. There were tears shed when these kiddos left, and then a couple months later he returned in a suit and tie because he had just graduated from whatever grade it is he was in school. So that was really awesome, really, really great moment to see the turnaround from that guy.
One individual here who hadn't been in school for a while, we did really well with him. And the parents actually sent a picture of him out on a bicycle ride with his dad. And that was one thing that he had really stopped doing before he got here. And so one of the things they pointed out was that not only was he better here, because we saw that, but they also saw changes with him at home. We can do things that some other programs can't. We have a playground that's attached to the building, fenced in. And so sometimes when these kids come in, they might come in on bus or van, or parent might bring them, but they might have been in the car for half an hour, whatever. So we're able to let them run around outside for 10 or 15 minutes. Typical school can't do that.
There are, I think, a lot of behavior stabilization settings around the state, the country, that are much more clinical or sterile in nature. And I think we have really worked to make ours more similar to a school or classroom environment. We put children in classrooms, they're with other children. Those children might be similar ages, similar sizes, or they may not be. There's opportunities for not just assessment and treatment of the individual and their problem behaviors, but exposing them to, as much as possible, to a typical school activities, interaction, social skills with other students.
I'm Samantha Malika, and I am the Executive Clinical Director of our Early Learners Center-based program. Every morning, our learners are dropped off at the front door where they're greeted by their clinical associate who picks up the learner from the parent. After the parent says goodbye to the learner and they talk about how their night was prior to, any pertinent information that we need to know for the day, they come in and the kiddos unpack. And after they unpack, they come into the classroom. And from there, we'll have a little bit of free play time, and then morning meeting will begin. During morning meeting, we're able to work on a variety of different skills. We really use the VB map here to guide our programming, and during that time, we'll work on listener responding skills. We'll take data on imitation of others in the program. From there, we will get into cooking, which is a really great skill for our kiddos to have, just to look at following directions, imitating others. Then after cooking, we will go outside. During that time, we do a lot of playground imitation play there as well. Following the playground, they will come back and we will have center time. And during our centers, we work on different activities that are at table. We have a little sensory room where we can do some gross motor. We have a fine motor center, and we also have art. Even though they are considered our different centers, within those we work on those VB map skills, and they kind of help our kiddos to rotate throughout the day, knowing what activity they're going to be doing, and it helps our staff as well to know what to focus on during that time. Following our centers, we will then get into intensive teaching trials, and that also is heavily based in ABA and from our VB MAP skills. Every kiddo here, we have a room for everyone to go into. Some are split into two as we're growing, and we just work on a variety of programming, whether that be manding, matching to sample, echoic skills. Following ITT, we will get back into a small group where we work on kiddos sitting in the small group without engaging in problem behavior, attending to stories during that time. And a lot of our kiddos have a split day. They'll either come from 8 to 12, 12 to 4, or some of them do come the full day, but the opportunity to go out in the afternoon for some of them isn't there in the morning. So we offer that twice during the day. So at the end of the day, our staff, our clinical associates, will fill out a communication log so the parents are aware of what took place during the day. We do have in our communication log diaper changes, toileting, because a lot of our learners right now are getting toilet trained. That will all be in the communication log for the parents, and at pickup that goes in their backpack. We just say like a brief goodbye, and everything that they need to know about their day can be found in that communication log. From the beginning, we have had learners who couldn't even cross the threshold come through the front door. Now we have learners, that same learner, she had no mode of communication at home. We were really working with mom. We started with sign as far as more, help, and all done. And now she spontaneously vocalizes whatever she might need throughout the day. For our 3 kiddos who did graduate, they once started with property destruction. We saw inappropriate social language. It was very hard for them to make it throughout the entire day here. Since then, they are now in the public school setting. Parents are proud of how well we have been able to set them up. Their kiddo is doing extremely well during the day. They are communicating their needs. They're not seeing any more of that property destruction, aggression that we have been seeing here that we worked on prior to them leaving. We worked really hard on following directives, things that you would see in the classroom, just to prep them to experience those, accepting no, waiting, various demands, and they're doing really well.
Should we do Mickey's hair?
Yeah.
You want to do Mickey's hair?
Yeah. It's messy.
It is messy. Can you brush Mickey's hair?
Yes.
Oh. Ooh.
It'll burn.
Nice job. Should we put a headband on Mickey?
In the future, I see this program growing to different locations. We are hoping that we can reach a variety of families and learners and really specialize in the area of just decreasing problem behaviors, increasing communication, branching out, and then just working with them in the home and continuing to watch them grow and be successful. Once they do age out of the program, which is typically at age 5, when they go to kindergarten, we will follow them into the home and we do after school hours with them, which is really nice for our program here at Brett DiNovi Associates. We do have social skills. So those who do age out here during the day come in the afternoon and we're still able to see them and see the progress that they've made since they've graduated from us.
Some plans to do? Go ahead, stand up. Good job. Ready? Keep going.
My name's Haley Cassidy, and I'm the Director of Social Skills for Burlington, Gloucester, and Camden County. We are trying to foster an environment where the kids can eventually make it out in the community and function in a way that's appropriate for them. An example would be we have a cooking class. So we have them working on different kitchen safety skills and working with different appliances, so then they can bring that home. We can generalize it to multiple settings. So same with our job skills group, we have them go to ShopRite, and then eventually they can go with their mom and help their mom with the grocery list. We do big holiday themed events. So we've done the trunk or treat, which gives the kids an opportunity to come trick or treat, play games, an opportunity for them to kind of maybe do what they can't do at home. And for Winter Wonderland, it's the same thing. We have somebody come as Santa. The kids can come and be themselves. There's no worry, especially on like the families. They don't have to worry about bringing their kids out to another spot where they might not be understood. We had One kid who would come to our Friday Night Lights, it's a big dance party, he would sit in the back with his headphones on. He didn't really want to engage with the kids or the staff. And eventually, it took a couple weeks, but I was kind of figuring out what songs he was listening to, and I was trying to get him to play it, trying to find Kids Bop versions. And one day, he was like, "Can you play this song?" He got up and did a whole TikTok dance to it. He showed off to everybody in the room, and after that, he was dancing every single week. Here, it's like, be yourself. You can do whatever you want, just have a good time.
Do you find that families appreciate the social skills too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We have the best team, and I say that with confidence. Everybody that is here genuinely cares so much about the kids and the work that we're doing. I am very proud to be a part of a team that is that honest and hardworking.
These are people who really have asked to be here, and they know that, you know, their shirts are going to get ripped and people try to bite them or punch them or kick them or whatever else it might be. But I think one of the reasons why they're here is, again, the training piece, but also the really exceptional clinical outcomes that we've been able to produce.
We really focus on sort of that daily interaction with staff at all levels, so that we have plenty of opportunities to provide positive interactions with them, let them know when they're doing something really well. I think that really fosters an environment when we do have to give corrective feedback and make suggestions about how they're interacting with students, makes it go much more smoother.
You know, we like to say that everybody here pretty much volunteers to be here. Of course, we're getting paid, but a lot of our staff like to be here. They've asked to be here, and you can really see the effort that they put in and day out. You know, we keep it light, we keep it fun. It's important for the students to see us having a good time, but also focusing in when we need to get things done.
People that are coming to us, I think, are already strong, but one of the things that I think is really fascinating is that they're leveling up their game from good to exceptional, and that really helps produce these outstanding clinical outcomes.
The staff are what makes it happen, right? So when you support your staff, then you get strong staff and they make behaviors change.